Aloha! Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis from 365 Hawaii, and
Lance Owens with LUVA Real Estate.
And you guys get the extra benefit of him being the president-elect for the Association of Realtors, as he proudly stated on the local news channel he was on this week. So the cool thing about Lance is that not only is he a quotable source, he knows his stuff. So as we start our monthly market update using July numbers, right, and Lance is giving the August wrap-up on these numbers, we're going to go ahead and crack...
Or Ola. Yeah, sorry. I need one.
If you guys watch us on a regular basis, we try and, give a little plug to one of our locally owned, farmer-raised Ola brewery. And today we're doing the lemon lime.
Lemon lime. It's one of my favorites. So,
okay, here we go. Ready?
And they have picked us up. They're going to sponsor something, so we hope to be giving away prizes for you guys.
Yes, that's what we're hoping to do. And maybe one of these days we can actually do a live... cheers. Look at that, because Eric Ziemelis is there too. We can do a live market update at their restaurant one of these days, and everyone who wants to come can come.
Wouldn't that be fun? That'll be good.
Maybe we'll shoot that in September. So let's get started with what's happening with the market. Maybe a little overview, and then we'll dig into the numbers. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me. Okay. So a little overview. Market is still the same as it's been for this whole year. Going kind of crazy. Part of the problem too, though, is we keep losing inventory. And it's not replenishing, so that's been a big headache of what that's our biggest roadblock that we're hitting right now.
And this is the lowest inventory market you've ever seen
in my life. Yes. I do go back. One thing that always stuck out in my head, and this will stick out in my head in the future, was back in, I think it was 2009. There was a month where there was only 7 homes sold in Kona.
That's it?
It was it, and I thought, you know what? We had a ton of inventory. And no buyers. And that's probably, of all the markets I've seen in 18 years, that was the scariest one, because that was, what do you do? I mean, it's a buyer's market, seller's market. It's always shifting, but it's selling. It's a market of some type. And there was no market. So that was a little scary.
Yeah, but interestingly, if you're a realtor on this island, and I heard now there's 1,600 of them, when you have no inventory, it's hard to do any business.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen, because we had a ton of people go and get their license during COVID, and
I heard 400 extra new people with the Association of Realtors that you're running.
That's a lot, and we had a lot of people that transferred over from the West Coast too. So we had a lot of realtors that moved over from there, and kind of what again, we've got 900 realtors, and we have right now 50. What did we say? We had 52. Homes for sale in Kailua Kona right now. So that makes it pretty slim pickings. It's going to be hard. Because I know a lot of people came over, they did good at first, and then when there's nothing to sell, it's hurting. So it'll be interesting to see how many realtors fall off at the end of this year.
Right. And even though these are market statistics, we're going to give you a little market update in the sense that if people are not familiar with the Big Island right now, selling real estate, and dealing with the multiple offer situation with negotiations, as somebody who's been here for quite some time, that would put them at a disadvantage, you could say, yes?
Yeah, a big disadvantage, and you need to know the quirks of the area and what's going on. It's kind of interesting. I was at a listing the other day doing a showing, and you look like the cesspool septic tank was in the backyard. We were talking about it and looking at it, and the agent didn't have he wasn't 100% sure what was going on. And then I remembered back in 2004 and 2005 when we were selling in that subdivision, they were on gang cesspools. And so it was one that was on a gang cesspool, I believe. I didn't verify it, but
that sounds kind of nasty, doesn't it? Gang cesspool.
Yeah. And so those were outlawed,
Yeah.
And what they were doing in the early days is they were doing last man standing. And by last man standing, as we sold off the homes, they didn't make it law, but pretty much all good realtors were requiring the people, say, look, you have to get it changed. We're not going to be responsible when they come up and fine you in 2 years from now. So it's like, this is part of the deal. So we were having them, at that point, they were still giving out cesspool permits, and we were trying to encourage people to get septic tanks put in. But either way, what was happening, if you were the first 6, you all had to put in your own, and the 7th man, last man standing, was claiming the big gang cesspool as his. And that went till the subdivision closed out. And then they came back and said, hey, there is no last man standing rule. You need to close down those gang cesspools.
So someone's responsible for like filling it in then.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what because that belonged to the association, and there were 7 people on it. There was easements for those things and stuff. But if you were the last man standing then, and you didn't put in your own, it would have been something. If I'd have gotten that from my client, I would have definitely made sure that this person had a permit, had a new one installed, and they weren't the last man standing.
Right.
And this was a newer realtor not a newer realtor, he's an experienced realtor, but he didn't know the area.
There you go.
So that's a big thing, and I come across things like that.
$20,000, 15, 20?
15 probably.
Yeah, so that's a deal.
Yeah.
When you're getting a new home to be responsible now for a $15,000 cesspool.
Yeah, and the fines are pretty significant if you get fined. I haven't seen them. They're still fining people that they're catching on them. Mm-hmm. But that would be kind of not, it's people that are intentionally still haven't remedied the problem, and that's kind of remedying it, but not.
Right,
so.
right. Just a little plug for my people, like Lance, that the people that are in our referral group are people who have sold real estate on this island for quite some time, and they're very good at knowing some of the little special things that happen on this part of the island. That's the reason why Lance doesn't sell real estate in East Hawaii. We give that to another realtor partner group because they understand East Hawaii's issues, and Lance understands North Hawaii. So it's just an important part of what we offer here is that we put you in contact with people who are actually doing the job in the neighborhoods that you're trying to buy in.
Remember when you ran into last month somebody that was from Oahu that wanted to sell over here?
Yeah, he's wanting to fly over here.
Yeah,
in fact, somebody in the group, and I'm not trying to cast aspersions, but somebody said, one of our members said, I don't know where I want to live on the island. Can you suggest a realtor that basically covers the entire island? And I said, well, I don't do that. I put you with people who actually know the different aspects of the island. And then somebody jumped in and said, I've got an agent that takes the entire island. And I'm like, I wouldn't suggest that. Yeah. So just so you guys know, and I'm not trying to sell a realtor on the island here, but if you guys want to take care of making sure that you get the right people helping you make the best decision, the people who are neighborhood experts are the best on this island. This isn't just like, I'm just saying that, but it is imperative that you understand.
And we do handoffs with Julie too, because there was we're recently one that had kind of looked all around the Kona area, and this is so kind of settling in more. They want to go to Waikoloa now, maybe. So it was just an easy transfer away from me to somebody else. And we'll work out behind the scenes how everybody gets paid and what's going on. But it's an easy transfer. We want to do what's best for the client. And that client may end up coming back and wanting Kona. We don't know. Right. But it's out there, and Julie, it's really quick. It was just a quick phone call to Julie and Eric and said, hey, let's do what's best for the client.
Right, because Waikoloa Village is different than Kona. So anyway, let's get started.
Okay, let's get started. How are we doing?
First of all, how many people do you think are hanging? Just so we can see if...
Yeah, I meant to pull it up so that we were watching.
Okay.
So what we're looking at in number of sales, North Kona, again, you guys that are new, there's all these counties and all these numbers. We have to zero it in on one. We would be here all night talking about all of them. So we're doing North Kona real quick. Residential sales. The number of sales from a year ago today are up 16%. It's a little bit hard because everybody knows we were kind of locked down in July of last year. So
that's right.
42 sales were last year, 58 this year. That's kind of a fair number. So that's nothing surprising on the number there. Don't be confused by the 38% increase in the number of homes sold.
Just because there was not that many people buying houses.
Look at year to date is a little bit more accurate. There's a 55% increase in the number of homes sold. Looking at condominiums, there is last year was 29, this year 38. So 31% increase. So 38 and 31, between homes and that. Looking at year to date, they're up 125% in the number of condos sold.
Can I just throw in just 2 seconds here? So I met a guy today, and he wants to buy a condo, and I said, okay, I'm going to go and I work with Eric, and we looked at all the condos that are available for sale right now in his price range. Mm-hmm. There's one. Yeah. Between Waikoloa Resort and Kona.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen
And he's
that
not
kind
in
of
a cheap
victor.
price point either.
No, he's not.
I
He's
won't
like,
say it, but
he's a higher
but
price
not,
point.
yeah.
And he's like, I'm looking like luxury. Even the luxury stuff, there's nothing left. So it's pretty tight.
Let me, while you're talking to them, and just do real quick, do my search history, because I was surprised. I got a new condo. You guys saw me pop it up the other day. It's a 1-1 over at Kailua Bay Resort. They do short-term rental, long-term rental, pet-friendly, and it will be listed at $339. It comes out tonight, actually.
Wow.
So if we look at condos in Kona, fee simple, no price point, active right now, there's 11.
11.
That's it. No minimum bedrooms. Oh wait.
Just
Oh no,
all.
I'm sorry. I did one bedroom. I didn't do studios.
Okay, do studios.
Let me get.
Okay. 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, the whole thing.
There's still 11.
11.
So
just because some of these people are kind of new to our market.
Yeah.
What's normal?
160, 150. So 11.
That's some crazy.
And for people who've been watching us for years now, you saw us talking last year saying as house prices were going up, start watching the condo market. The condo market was sitting there kind of stagnant. We've been $325 for medium price for years now, and it finally started bumping up a few months ago. Took a little bit longer than I expected, but I knew it was going to happen. So that's jumped up. We're going to jump to that next. So let's go jump over real quick land sales, though, before we change pages. Yeah. Land sales went up 100% this month, and the number sold over last year, and they're 169% up year to date.
Wow. Yeah, we have some people who are joining the group because they want to buy land because, just like you said, they feel completely priced out of the single-family home market. Yeah. And so there are definitely people here going like this. Where's the land? Where's the land?
Where's the land? So what do we have? We have 52 homes available in all of Kailua Kona, where we're normally 160, 170 homes, and 11 condos that are fee
So what's
simple.
going on with the? I mean, how do you know what land is available?
I can look and see. Yeah, I can do that.
Oh,
real
so
quick,
let's say how many pieces of land sold this time last year compared to this?
7.
7.
And 14 sold this year.
Okay, so double. Okay.
I'm almost wondering. Oh, because I got 1 bedroom on
And
there.
we've got the usual round of people saying, I got a good one for you guys. Someone wants to buy a piece of land and he wants to ship an RV over. Put the RV on the land so you can live on it for a while, and then build something, and then basically put the shed over the RV and use that kind of as like a side ohana unit. Can you do that?
So I've seen people do it. You know, I've seen it here. You may want to look occasionally on Craigslist. I see somebody selling one that they brought over and did that. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not that often. I mean, there's only one at a time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I always laugh and say, if you don't see people doing that, that usually is a reason why. Now, that's why if that was a zoning issue or... I measured, the cost. I also said we don't have, like, campgrounds here. We don't have places where people can, like, flush their waste system.
Right. You'd have to, when you build your place, you would want to build a dump station for it, you know. Yeah. Which is okay. You know, it's easy to do when you're building. But, yeah, like Julie said, there's just no places. There's no hookups. There's no anything for motorhomes at all. Yeah. So trying to sell it once you're done with it or trying to do what you're doing with it is another thing. Doing what you're doing with it, I mean, it's, again... most of the building laws have nothing to do with something that's on wheels and is portable. So your HOAs, your CC&Rs, conditions, covenants, and restrictions is what CC&R means. They will restrict you from that. So
is that the reason why you don't see people with RVs in any of these neighborhoods either?
Yeah.
So you can't just park an RV on your lawn, your driveway, and someone could live in the front yard. Yeah.
No. Can't do it.
Okay.
They're very good about restricting that. I don't know if it's a good thing, but they're good about it.
Well, I mean, can you imagine if everyone did that? Yeah. So okay, go on.
Okay, so that was interesting. So kind of interesting. We don't usually go over this number in our conversations, but I just thought it was interesting. Last year at this time, the amount of money that exchanged hands year to date was $318 million in Kailua Kona, and this year it's $872 million.
Oh, good Lord!
So
yeah, what's the increase on that? 174%.
Yeah, 174% increase in the amount of money exchanging hands with that. So that's an interesting number.
That's a very interesting number.
All right, we're gonna get in the median sales price, you guys, and Eric's checking for questions or comments or anything. Median, and we're get a good one that we're gonna talk to. Yeah. So North Kona median home price hit $901,000 as the median price, up from $880 last month. I'm going to post in my video from the news from the other day in the comments on here, just the thing. So you'll look at that and you'll kind of see what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. We're going to discuss it too here live. But we hit $999,000 was the median price in April.
Which was the top of the market.
Top of the market.
I told you.
We were going to argue this one until the day we die. It was the top of the market as far as numbers
price.
But it wasn't. It's not the top of the market. We haven't even hit it yet. We're just. It's what's happening to me right now. I have written 10 offers in the last 2 weeks, and nothing's been successful. And we aren't even writing offers unless they are significantly over with our waivers on them. So appraisal waivers. Mm-hmm. So it is with 24. Showing the other night, 24 people last night coming in 2 hours, and you had to wait in line just to show the house.
Oh, this is Kyle's thing. Yeah, what happened with that? Just so you guys have a little flavor. One of our guys, Kyle, he had a listing, and he said basically we're opening it for 2 hours, 5:30 to 7:30.
Yep.
Don't come too early.
Yep. And
if you're not in the door by 7:30, you're cut out.
You're done.
And if you are in those 2 hours, those are the only people who are going to be able to write an offer, right?
Well, you can write an offer or sight unseen, but...
Oh, sight unseen, yeah. Okay. But basically, those 2 hours was it.
That's your only chance.
And he basically said, and we're shutting the door at 7:30.
And that's how he had to do it. You know, he's dealing with tenants, and he was just stuck on a time frame. That's all.
And so how many people showed up?
Well, he was expecting over 2 dozen.
Okay.
And so our clients opted out. They just didn't want to do that. So, but it's that's what's happening.
That's how hot it is.
Yeah, that's how crazy it is. So our market's hotter than it was in April, Julie. So, but our numbers will show. I think Eric.
So you think that? Wait a minute. Do you think then that the median price will go over $999,000?
I don't know that.
Well, that would mean that April was the hottest. Eric, you got the question?
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the months to come. Because
Brad says South Kona has by far the lowest absorption rate. How long before that moves up towards the rest of the island?
Oh.
Probably as we're running on our second month of just double-digit inventory, we're probably going to see that because we've jumped out. We've talked about the ripple effect all the time, so we've rippled out. Waikoloa, real quick, we're going to jump into that one a lot because we're seeing some of our clients jump over to that neighborhood now. Waikoloa went up 27% in median price.
Wow.
So they went from $640 to $815.
In which time frame? Year over year?
Year over year.
Okay.
Yeah. And we went from $725 to $901. So it's kind of interesting. We were, that's about $75,000 they went up. We went up $175,000. So,
drink whenever you hear him talking about a depressing number for the housing market. It's like we're trying to still buy a house too.
My brother's real estate company's gotten so big. He was talking to a couple of the guys were having a drinking game. A couple of the original people that were there, and every time an agent came in that they didn't know, they had to take a shot. Needless to say, they had to Uber home. So that's kind of what's happening here.
Okay, question: how far of a drive is Kona Palisades subdivision to downtown Kona?
Probably, depending on traffic, about 15 minutes.
And which way?
20. Huh?
Yeah. And which way you go? Right.
Which way do I go?
No, which way? When you come down the hill.
If you come down the hill and take Queen K.
It's a little slower that way, I think.
Or unless it's traffic and you get stuck on Pilani, then it's going to take you 25.
Depends on time of day, but we'll put it in the middle at 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you know what, you guys, Eric and I did a neighborhood tour with somebody here on Island, and we drove through the Palisades area, and went through this really cute little neighborhood, that one that Kathy Klotz bought in.
Oh yeah, Lokahi Makai.
Yeah, Lokahi Makai, and it's like one of those like, shh. There was a house in there that was less than $700,000. available on the market. And it's a cute little 3-bedroom house, and it's a cute little neighborhood, and it's right next to Kona Palisades. And cute.
That's the one that came on today, you mean?
Just in the last few days.
Okay, one came on today at 700.
So one of there's a couple people in the group looking for things under 700, and I thought, wow, that was a good one. So that little neighborhood, which is again right next to Kona Palisades, is, I can't believe it. They're really cute little houses, and the price, I don't know why the price was that low, but it was like this is really good for you guys to know. And it's got that park. That park is amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's a great little neighborhood.
Park.
I like it.
It's a cute little happy neighborhood. So if you guys are looking for something like that, where you're a little out of town, elevation, right? Kind of elevation?
No,
like
it's
what?
low.
Well, not like oceanfront. What, 400, 500?
Probably 500-600. I'm
Okay,
kind of guess.
okay,
Yeah,
so-
so it's warm. It's warm down there.
Yeah.
You get a breeze. I like it. Trust me, I love it because it's out of the rain belt.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the sun. It's not too hot by any means. That is, I love that neighborhood.
Yeah, and some of the houses look out over open range to the ocean. Mm-hmm. So you might get something like that. So just like if you guys, it's called, say it again.
Lokahi Makai.
There you go. Lokahi Makai, meaning all together community facing towards the ocean.
Yeah, Makai is ocean, right? Mm-hmm. And Lokahi
means like community all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So you found it for 700. So there you go.
Yep.
There.
So I got one for 700. Came out today. I'm showing it tomorrow.
You are?
So, yeah. So
No,
there's
get on that.
one real quick story too. We used to use Kamani trees as a staple in our thing because built in 1990 subdivision. There used to always be 4 or 5 or 6 for sale. So it was a good judgment of what was happening in the economy. My old house that I sold for $450 3.5 years ago, just sold for $700.
Oh, good Lord.
They've been to lots of Halloween parties and things over there.
Great house.
So it was a cool house.
700.
Closed at 700.
Wow. Are you kicking yourself a little bit? No, I'm
No,
kidding.
no, because I wouldn't be able to get my house or my stuff
Right,
built.
it all goes like this, and boats
I went
rise.
up evenly.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, Kevin says, are there any restriction or ordinance against adding second stories that might block someone's view?
That's a good one.
That is in
CC and
CC&Rs. Not in city ordinances, but in CC&Rs. So there's a lot of communities that do have that. There's a lot of them that don't. So, yes, if you got them, there's people, you got your trees you can't block with trees. Certain trees they allow, like palm trees, they consider it's okay.
Because you can see through the
You
stick.
can see through there, and it's Hawaii, so palm tree.
Yeah, but probably not a mango. And most definitely not a monkey pod.
Yeah.
Okay, and Paul K says, love seeing you both again taking care of business.
Thanks, Paul. Paul's
the winner. He got in on the housing market.
He
Yes,
scored.
he did. Yeah. In fact, I saw 3 homes in the Pines go up contingent in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So I know that there's some people also in our group that were looking at the Pines, and it looks like people are starting to shake out of there.
It's interesting because they are selling quick. They're selling fast. They're you're seeing things on the market now for 4 or 5 days, only because they're filtering through so many offers. It's not like it's taking that long to to get it. 4 months ago they were taking them when they got them. Now they're fielding through them.
Yeah.
Again, I had one the other day with 11 offers in on it, and
And they had
it's
to
a
go
tough
through
one.
them all. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And so, have we talked again? And again, not obviously he's in the middle of the numbers, but if you guys hang on, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about strategy again near the end. So if you guys are just looking for numbers, here's your information.
And I think we'll just do the last ones here real quick. We were coming to the end there. So condos went up again. 330 was our price. We'd been 3.25, 330 for a couple of years. Median price for condos 422.5 now. And 330 was the price for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 422. Again, that one money got coming on at 339. The last 2 that came up in that price point in there had multiple offers and went
Too much
contingent.
Do you know?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
No, they're in escrow right now.
Okay.
So that, and then land. So I'm gonna not count this one. I'm gonna give you the number. You guys got it there, but land. Median price has been $375. Last month it jumped up to $784. But with only 14
somebody
sales,
maybe bought like 14 acres or something.
a couple of people bought something big, and that jumped it up. So let's go over to the year to date, which is a little bit more telling. Year to date, last year was 290. Year to date this year is 500.
Well,
so
there you go.
72% increase
Yeah.
in price. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Okay,
And we did everything. We talked about
South Kahala, North Kona.
We talked about Waikoloa.
Beautiful.
Median price went from $640 to $815. Ripple effect has taken over out there now.
Okay.
Year to date, 26% up. Month over month from a year ago month, 27% up.
Okay, and then selfishly, for people who are looking on the other side of the island, South Hilo, because I know North Hilo is really north. It's like Hamakua. It really isn't Hilo whatsoever. South Hilo, residential jumped up 8%. It was 368 and is now 397,500. And condos there, which there's not that many at all, were 220 back in 2020, and now they're 96,000, which is what the hell?
South Hilo.
Yeah.
Condominium, nothing sold there, so
Yeah.
there was probably one sale.
Yeah.
So it's North Hilo, I think, is what you want, because
But North Hilo, look at this. I realized because I did a little search on this one. It's like the top of Hilo, and it goes way up the coast. So it's not really in what people would think is your average East Hawaii kind of feeling.
Right, and you're looking at so I'm sorry, South Hilo had 36 sales, and North Hilo had 2.
Yeah.
So South Hilo is
that's kind of
your
where
area that's
HPP, some of the more affordable housing. So some people are fleeing the Kona market, and they're heading over on the other side of the island. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a snapshot on that.
Yep. And again, you guys, a full report is on Julie's page, and there's a link to it or the file, either way that you want to pull it down.
Right. And if you're getting this on YouTube, then you should join our group, and we'll give you the housing statistics.
And you've got the full report in black and white and in charts and everything else.
That's right. And you have access to people being able to answer your questions about the market, too.
Yes.
Okay. So,
absorption
you wanted to talk
rate.
about the absorption rate. That's right.
Kailua Kona, I think, Brad, was 107. I don't have that number printed out. I'm going to scroll through it. I think absorption rate, again, for those watching it that don't watch us normally, 15% below is a buyer's market, 20% above is a seller's market. When you're at 107% absorption rate, it is a seller's market to the extreme.
The nth level.
Yes.
Yes. So,
all right. So we're good with the numbers. We're going to go with that. We're going to talk about that chart I did, and I'm going to post that.
Yep. Okay.
You guys see the X?
Yep. This is you guys, a little economics here for you.
Okay. And I'm going to post a video I did on the news the other day so that you'll see the graph in color. I had to.
He just makes himself feel good because he was on the news.
And they took my graph because anyone that watches the Hawaii News Now, Howard Dicus always has his hand-drawn graphs.
And he did a hand-drawn graph for all of us tech people.
Yes. so they took it back to Howard. So 166 homes for sale 2 years ago today. Actually 2 years ago, June. So median price was $616 down here. Fast forward to 2020, 119 homes available on the market. The price jumped up to $722. Fast forward to today, 52 homes on the market way down here. Median price is $901,000. Supply and demand, that's what's running the market. It's not interest rates. It's nothing but supply and demand. So.
Yep. And lots of people still want to live here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And while we're talking about interest rates and things that are interest and rates and loans,
good job.
the 59 homes that sold last month, or 58, 19 of them were cash. The top 3 sales in cash, one of them was $43 million, one of them was $14 million, one of them was $13 million, and one of them was $6.5 million.
Okay, wait a minute. That's skewing the numbers, though, in terms of median price.
That's always been that way, though.
Okay, just so you guys know that there's that kind of stuff is throwing itself into the numbers. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's not fair.
3 VA loans.
Good.
And so what's that leave us with? 30-something conventional loans. So financing is still buying homes, you guys. Only a third went out in cash.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can still buy a home with that.
Okay.
Of the 58, 59, I got 2 reports that have 2 different numbers the way I ran it, so I'm just going to use the number 59. Of the 59 that sold, 12 of them sold in 0 days. 20 of them sold in under 5 days. So a good third of them sold in under 5 days on the market.
Yep.
So you need to be here. You need to have everything ready to go.
Now, let me ask you a question on that one. Let's go to strategy real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do people pick people's offers based on if they actually physically walk through the property versus basically having your realtor give you a little
Yes.
something?
Yes.
Yes. So they say, my buyers walked through this property. Awesome.
They touched it. They felt it. They know the neighborhood. They know the 5 junk cars next door. They know they've driven through the neighborhood. They're not going to show up here on an airplane and freak out.
We don't want those houses anyway. Well, also when my friend said, do realtors tell people about coqui frogs? And
Yes.
I'm like, oh, you know what? It's important also, you guys, come at night. Wherever you think you're going to buy a home, just in case you're just not the big fan of the coqui frog experience, because that has levels of decibels that range all around the island.
Sorry, you guys, I'm fighting the sun in my eyes.
Which is better because it was raining for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it feels
smoky.
good. The sunshine on my face feels good. I'm not complaining. So, real quick, I want to touch on that a little bit because...
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, we talked about coqui frogs a lot a few years ago, and that was the thing, and what neighborhood had it and what didn't. Coqui frogs are so prevalent. They're basically almost everywhere in the island. They're not in the really dry areas, so you're not going to see it at Kahala Ranch.
Right? You're not going to see them down in Waikoloa Resort.
Yeah, you're not going to see them. And probably Waikoloa Village isn't going to have many either.
No, because it's dry.
Yeah, it's dry enough. You might have some people that came home with salmon plants and they water all the time and the moisture will keep some there, but it's not infested like it is the rest of the island. But Kona's just done.
No, Ke'aho isn't.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, you think?
Yeah,
oh, Eric's like shaking his head, yeah. Because
Yeah.
when we were living there, we didn't have coquis. Now they've snuck over there
How
now,
long
too.
ago was that?
About 6 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, no, 6 years ago they were just isolated areas. So it's almost becoming so complacent that they're everywhere that you're not going to get away from them. That it's not becoming as big of a disclosure.
Oh.
Because it's sunny also in Hawaii. Is that a disclosure? It's just part of life here.
It rains.
It rains. That's in my disclosure. Things like that. So I do try to make sure my clients do include that when it talks about excessive noise. So we talk about that, and I have them disclose VOG is a thing too.
Just in case.
Just in case. Yeah. So.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions about weirdness, about what's going on with the neighborhoods? I don't think Pualani Estates has coqui frogs.
Oh, we got one.
Brad says, do you have coquis up at your elevation, Lance?
We do, and so Kimmy and I are at 1,800-foot elevation at the base of the rainforest, and it has been so wet the last 2 years that we have been good because we have horses, and we had no vegetation around our house. We just built our home. I would walk to my neighbor's house for Ola brew, and his yard was just like wow. And I would tell him we don't have any. Yeah. So with all the rain, I've got some ferns growing in the rocks in front of my house. So I literally have coquis now at my house.
Oh, the coquis come by with their little kayaks, and they have the little singing parties down there.
When I lived on Makahiki Lane, right, it dropped. It was a half-mile road, and I forget it dropped 100 feet. No, I think more than 100, 200 feet in elevation. Literally, when I would leave, if I had to go at nighttime to go do something, when I got to the top of the street, I couldn't hear. It was just nothing but coquis. And I'd come down to my house, and there's none. And so everybody at the bottom of the hill went in and bought a blower with baking soda. We would spray if one of them. So during heavy rains, someone would wash down in that kayak.
Oh,
seriously.
There we go. Okay, and then
the kayak would show up at our door. I killed all the plants in my front yard because I had one. So it's not so bad if there's 20. They're just a music. When there's one, yeah, and then he shuts up. You start getting back to sleep, and then he pipes up again.
Yeah,
one is worse than 20. So,
but not as bad as 400.
Yeah. Apparently, my wife though, she went out in the middle of the night and threw out baking soda on it. Not knowing, and I went out and threw baking soda on the whole thing, and so the plants all died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Be careful of that. Yeah.
Dominic says, "How about the mongoose? Are they just simply the squirrels of big
Yeah,
island?"
they're the
Yeah.
squirrels of the Big Island. But you
There
know what
is.
though? They sadly, I didn't realize that they're having a devastating effect on the bird population because they get up and they kill the birds' nests and they eat the eggs and
They eat
stuff
the
and,
eggs
and the
and-
babies and everything else. So
They've eaten my baby chickens. They've eaten their eggs. They go in and they tear into them.
because somebody said that that the roosters in Hawaii now on our island start screaming at 2 or 3 in the morning because they see the mongoose coming in and trying to attack the nests. So that's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, they're little bastards. But they don't attack you. They don't make a lot of noise. They eat a lot of cat food.
I watch them beat up cats, chase a cat away from their food.
Yeah?
They'll chase the cats away from
Oh,
their
they're
food.
in copacetic relationship with one another at the old airport feeding grounds. And I'm like, when those women are out there feeding those cats and they know that they're feeding the mongoose too, if you walk around that thing, you don't hear that much bird song because there's no birds there anymore because there's
birds,
so
yeah.
many mongoose.
In
So,
the whole idea, you guys, I'm an animal lover. 2 cats, 2 dogs, 3 horses, and that's all I got right now.
know about them, yeah.
Goldfish are gone. The kid moved out. The lizards are gone. The birds are gone. But it's it's just, I forgot where I was going.
With the mongoose, you think they should be eradicated?
They should be because part of the thing with the cats, the people that are saving the cats,
Oh, the feral cat problem.
the feral cat problem. The idea was they clip their ears so that you know they're feral. You're not supposed to feed them. You're not supposed to do anything with them. They're supposed to keep the population down on the mongooses, and they're supposed to fight over the food for that. Well, what's happening is people are feeding them, and that's not. So it's have a reverse effect on things.
Right, yeah. So
So.
there you go. You know, there's a couple things in Hawaii that are a little strange.
Yeah.
And, that's one of them.
And I don't want to be animal people call me an animal
I
hater.
know,
I got a whole load of them.
I got a whole bunch of people like, oh,
And they're all
living
rescue
creatures.
animals.
Yeah.
They're all rescue animals.
So what's
well,
your
not the horses,
what's your
but-
question? Yeah.
And Brad says, "And turkeys? You have turkeys."
I had turkeys. Till
What
the
happened to that?
The rescue dog that we brought home chases them. He hasn't caught them. He doesn't do anything with them.
But it kind of
But
stops them from
they stop.
nesting.
They don't
in
come over anymore.
Oh, that was kind of like a fun thing watching your nesting turkeys.
Yeah, anybody that knows me, we used to watch a turkey fly 50 feet in the tree every night and do live turkey landings, and it blew me away. I didn't know turkeys could fly straight up 50 feet in the tree and nest overnight. So, and now I won't see it again as long as I have Noodles.
Noodles is your dog's name.
Yeah,
Huh? Okay.
yeah.
It's not Kona like half of our people.
No,
Yeah.
Noodles.
Get the know, it's the Get to Know Lance show. So, so is there anything else there?
I think
That's it?
that's a wrap.
Okay, so
We're good.
we will be doing this again around the first week in September after Labor Day, and just so you guys know,
Can you show our friend?
You can show our. Oh, you can't because it's going to bring that.
Okay.
But we have a little gecko on our table.
Will he
looking
climb
for
on your
food.
hand?
I don't want him to climb on my hand. Because usually when they climb on your hand, they climb all over your body too. Yeah, so we will come back to you in September, but also if you guys are around, we're going to be doing the third Thursday at 3 o'clock in 2 weeks from today, and we're going to be bringing some different realtors from around the island and also our mortgage people to kind of have like a live discussion about topics that are related to housing, and you guys can jump in and ask questions, and I'm not going to say that the housing market's going to get any better in 2 weeks, but we're going to give you, like, I wanted you guys to talk strategy, but we can talk a little bit more strategy there because we'll have our finance people too. But what we've talked about in the past is the fact that you need to have solid financing in place, and you need to make sure that you know that you have got to make a decision like that. Right?
Yes, yeah, you just got to be ready. You got to understand the appraisal gap, what that means. Have the pre-approval letter done with your lender. I know Julie's got a few of them to recommend you to. The ones that we've been using a lot lately. I mean, I just got to them on a Sunday afternoon it was noon our time, so it was 5 p.m. From their corporate office on the mainland on a Sunday that got us the pre-approval letter for the offer we put in.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
These people are like Johnny on the spot.
it's important.
Yeah, and if you guys want to learn more about some of the financial little things that we've been talking about, I just posted the video on our group and also on YouTube with the wins and talking financial strategy, and also how Scott talks about how it's not just about the rates, it's being in a position where you can control what's happening. Because sometimes the market and the rates seem out of control, but what you can control is how you're dealing with it. So it's a nice little motivational.
Yeah, that was good. That was
Did you see
good.
it?
Yeah.
Good,
I watched the whole thing. It was really good.
Okay, so next Thursday we're going to be doing the mortgage update. Bring your mortgage questions. Eric has a question. No, he doesn't.
He's saying wrap it up, you guys.
Lance says mahalo.
Thank you, Lance.
Oh, Lance is still
It was
there.
great
That's
to meet Lance and Laurie
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
daughter, and
yeah.
it was had a good time with them. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we did too. We got a chance to go hiking with them.
Yep.
So when you guys use our referral partners, we might actually take you to Polo Valley and take you beyond your comfortability level and go hiking.
Okay, so James says, great information and insights as usual, mahalo. And Dominic says mahalo.
Thank you,
Is that
guys.
James
Thank you,
Porter?
everybody. We appreciate it.
James Porter, another good guy. Thank you, James. You were totally the rock diggity. Okay, guys, so we'll see you next month, and we'll wrap it up. And aloha.
Aloha.